Hello, Ran here, aka Mac, and welcome. So with the addition of 3.7 and 3.8 on the roadmap comes a big update and shift for 3.6. Do remember what's the IG plan to release in Q2, so the end of July 2019. Things can change and features could slip, and I do expect some things to shift as each patch gets released and they just reassess everything. But with that said, there's a lot of new features coming now for 3.6, so let's get on with it. In characters, we have glass visor and hood improvements. This is just an overhaul to the visor and helmet hoods, providing a more intuitive and immersive experience. For locations, they have rest stop, space station, exterior variations. This is expanding the size and diversity of the exterior components of the rest stops, along with thematic variations. In AI, we have NPC improvements for the bartender. This is improving the bartender NPC and expanding on his behaviours. Also, we have civilians as well, so this is the same thing as above, but instead of the bartender, it's for general civilians. FPS cover usage version 1. So the AI strategically using dynamic cover and reacting to environmental changes. Ship AI 3D pathfinding version 2. This is adding the ability for AI spaceships to effectively navigate the space using physics grids. For gameplay, we have system misfires. So this is at 7 out of 16 tasks already. Basically adding momentary misfire events which cause items to cease working or perform unexpectedly. Also, overheated and degraded items will have a higher chance of misfiring. Transit Systems version 2. This is improving the system that allows players to transfer between various map sections such as doors, elevators and airlocks. Player Carryables version 2, so developing the look, feel and depth of player item handling. Also creating a carryable tool, I would assume, for bigger cargo boxes, and setting up key carryable items like helmets, and setting up the dynamic grip so that players can hold several types of objects. We have seen this recently, or a little while back, where they can hold different sizes and multiple hands and so forth. Bounty hunting NPC improvements, we've seen this already. This is from 3.5. Weapon attachments, this is new, so adding the option for scopes, grips and hopefully more. We've heard about barrel attachments as well. Black market economy, so security forces will search for stolen or illicit goods and respond appropriately, while shops and NPCs will distinguish the difference between legitimate and stolen goods. That's very exciting. Also, something exciting that's new for gameplay is ship rentals. So instead of having to earn loads of cash to buy ships in game, we will be able to rent ships from select shops for a limited period of time. Player free look, this is from Squadron 42, so players can look away from where their weapon is aiming, giving a little more situational awareness. Ragdoll improvements, giving more appropriate reactions to all situations, like 0G for example, when you get exploded or you die. Player jump version 2, improving the look and feel of the current jump mechanic. And finally for gameplay, ship system degradation improvements version 2. So just improving degradation gameplay like the misfires we saw earlier. The misfire rates to the amount of wear on an item, and this includes visualizing the wear and degradation on items. Now for ships and vehicles, the 890 jump is at 26 out of 101. Last week that was at 7 out of 133, so they've made some great progress on there and culled a lot of the tasks as well needed. They've also added the P-52 Merlin and P-72 Archimedes, plus the Vanguard Warden is getting updated as well for 3.6. That is at 3 out of 14. We did see a bit of that on the RTV ship shape from last year, so if you do want to see more on that, I suggest watching that video. For weapons and items, we have the Apocalypse Arms Animus missile launcher. I believe that will be handheld. Also the Bearing S38 pistol, that's a new weapon. And the Maxox neutron repeaters. This is at 1 out of 12, that's a ship weapon as well. So for core tech, we have harvestable entity spawning. Now this is new. This is creating the underlying tech to allow for an automated system to enable spawning of harvestable entities on planets, moons and asteroid fields. Hopefully missions to go along with that. Client to server actor to network rework. That's quite a mouthful. This is improving the upstream part of the communication between the client and the server, paving the way for the downstream improvements which help aid against rubber banding and so forth. I think that one is coming in 3.7. Planetary ground fog tech is new, creating varying layers of fog on planetary terrain to just further intensify local ambience and a sense of visual depth. Procedural asteroids version 2, continuing the development of the tech that determines the shape, distribution and appearance of asteroid fields. Also distribution of ecosystem improvements, so just unification of terrain and distribution maps. the ecosystem modelling at a global planetary level, and several improvements to the terrain blending. Anyway, that is it for 3.6. Some really interesting additions to 3.6, like the system misfires and degradation, adding a bit more further ship care to the game, weapon attachments making FPS weapons feel more unique and useful, ship rentals and black market economy really changing how the game plays, and I think that's a very important one. Plus lots of new core tech features. 3.6 is looking to be a very cool update. Also, all the little additions like player carryables, free look and AI updates, adding a little more depth to the game, should feel pretty refreshing. Do let me know your thoughts about these new updates. As mentioned before, I still have 3.7 and 3.8 patches videos to come, so be sure to hit subscribe so you get to see what's coming later on in the year. Follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers as we delve further into the roadmap and play some Star Citizen together. Also, big shout out to my Patreons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It means the world. If you do want to support my channel and you enjoy my videos, do hit the link to my Patreon page below. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.